Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike from My Core Intentions, and this is Thursday Morning Live. This is our fifth episode this week, and I'm excited about today. Here's what I like about Thursday Morning Live is that it gives me an opportunity to have some friends on, some people that I've met over the last few months that had great conversations, great stories. We're going to come back and kind of explore with them where they're at today, what's going on in their life, and how they might be able to make an impact in the world. And really, that's kind of what we're hoping to talk about. But today, my good friend Portia, I'm going to bring her on here in a minute, is going to talk about being a single mom and life as an entrepreneur and how that all ties together and the best things to do. So let's bring her on real quick. Hey, Portia, good morning.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. Better now that you're back. Holy cow. I can't believe I tried to put you back in the took you off stage and I knocked you out. That's crazy. So, hey, listen, like I said, this whole StreamYard thing is new and I'm trying to figure it out. So, hey, did you start Instagram?
Yes, I did. I started it by Instagram.
I think you have to invite me.
Yes. So, did you join?
Did I join it? I can't find. You have to invite me to your live, I think.
Okay, so Mike, hi everyone. Just adding Mike on here.
So, because this will be kind of crazy. We'll cover all the platforms.
Yes. So we're live on where? YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Yep.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. So, you guys stay tuned for an amazing conversation.
Right.
Second. So Mike on Instagram is just Mike. Can you spell it for me?
Just like in the just like my name on the screen.
Mike. All together, right?
Nope. There's a dot in between and then it's dot 54. So
54. It's not showing you on here. Go on my page and you should be able to invite me.
Okay.
You should be able to see me on the
All right,
live.
I'll work on that. Let's do this. Why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from and a little bit about your background.
Okay, so my name is Portia and I am a Canadian. I live in Canada with my 6 amazing children. And I live in Burlington, Ontario. And I'm just so excited to be on here with you. And I know that we connected on Clubhouse. And every time we meet, we just have amazing conversations. So I'm excited for everybody to hear this amazing conversation that we're about to have. So I am, like today says, conversation on life as a single mother and an entrepreneur. So I am a single mother. I am an entrepreneur. I have, oh, you're finally here. Yeah, I am a mortgage agent in Canada. I am a credit repair coach in Canada and the US. And also another thing that I have is that
you have to turn your volume down on Instagram.
Okay, better?
You got to turn it all the way down. There's a bad echo.
It's not allowed. I turned it down.
There you are. No, you're good.
I think it might not work out.
I don't think that's going to work. We probably need to shut Instagram off.
Or maybe I can be on Instagram talking and you can just hear
it. It's a bad echo, though. Okay. So we're just trying this for the first time. So let's just shut Instagram down.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to listen in, go on Facebook, Portia Boateng, and you can join. Okay. Or maybe I will just stay on Instagram and they can just listen.
Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, you can stay live. But there was a bad echo coming back and forth, and I don't know why. So, but if you were on my Instagram and you wanted to listen, you could go back and go to Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn Live. So, all right. So, Hey, one question I like to ask everybody on Thursday morning, Portia, is what's the last thing you've learned since you and I talked, which has been a couple months?
Yes, it has. It has. And I think the last time we spoke, you're just like, take it easy. And I think that's what I'm doing because the last time we met, just been so much going on. And I've just been taking it easy and taking things one step at a time. Because I know that a lot of times I put so much on myself and I become overwhelmed, right? So just taking it easy, taking some time out for myself is something that I've been doing a lot lately.
So here's what I want to know. How do you take it easy with 6 kids? Come on now. Share that, would you?
What? With 6 kids, you know what? It is a lot. It is a lot, but I'm learning that I need to learn to kind of remove myself, right? And just take that time for me to feel because if I'm not 100%, then I can't show up 100% for them. So if I take care of myself, even if I need to go sit in my car, me and my car have become really good friends, right? I
I
sit
love that.
I go and I sit in my car, right? And even that's just that moment for me to really rejuvenate and reflect, right? And just have that peace and that time for myself, right? And I'm learning to also, even putting schedules in place for them, organizing our days to make sure that everything goes well. It's fun, it's chaotic, but it's
Yeah.
best of both worlds.
Hey, you know what I think? That's probably a really good TikTok is life. Go near your car, turn TikTok on, and just going, "Oh, I needed a break," and
Yes.
it'd probably be really good. So I'm going to steal that. I think so. So listen. So this is not. I don't think this is. I think this is pretty serious. And if you don't mind sharing,
Mhm,
you're a single mom of 6 kids.
mhm.
And you live a life as an entrepreneur and
Yes.
have a great business,
Mhm.
which we'll get to in a minute. But do you mind sharing about how you got to be a mom of 6 kids and that whole journey?
So with being a mom of 6 kids, so if you know me, I have 3 children, biological children, and then I have 3 children that I adopted after the mom passed away.
Mm.
Because you know what, when it comes to I love children and I believe that the next generation deserves the best version of the world that we hand off to them. So that is part of my family. It's a blended family. It's amazing. A lot of people see and they're just like, you're crazy for adding 3 more. You're crazy for adding 3 more, but I wouldn't want it any other way, right? They're part of my family. I love them, right? I love them. Their mom was my cousin, and we had a really good relationship. So it's just, the Lord asked the Lord. I went before the Lord and asked him if I should do it, and he said yes. So I know that he continues to strengthen me each and every day to do what I'm doing.
It's interesting. You and I met on Clubhouse, and we
Yeah.
met, I think, early morning one morning on the 413 room, which is
Yes.
which is really an amazing room, especially if you for somebody who wants to start their day in full gratitude and just really, you know,
Hmm.
feeling enriched about life and people
Yeah.
and I like that room because there's only a couple of real estate people on there, so you don't get overwhelmed with the job talk,
Hmm.
but you get overwhelmed and feel full of life talk, love talk,
Yeah.
kindness and gratitude. um, so with that kind of sentiment, what are you really grateful for today in your life?
Yeah. I'm grateful for my past.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for life, and I'm grateful for my past because my past is what made me become who I am, right? Because a lot of times, I'm also a preacher, so sometimes it comes in when I'm speaking. So, a lot of times we forget that the wilderness, it's okay to go through hard times. It's okay to go as long as you don't allow it to become who you are, because there's lessons in hard times,
Yeah.
right? So I've gone through a lot of hardship in my life, and I needed that to be able to see the value that I have, to be able to see that I am enough, to be able to see that I'm capable to change the world, right? Because sometimes when we're going through those things, we allow it to diminish our voice. We allow it to diminish who we are, right? So that allowed me to really to get to know myself. Sometimes we have to be in those places where you have no other way but to really get up and do something about your situation.
Yeah. You know what? And don't hold back. If you're going to preach, preach, right? That's what I always say. Listen, one thing I love about what I get to do is I get to talk about Jesus every day.
Yes.
So, I call that a little bit of marketplace ministry, right? And
Mhm.
we can spread a little light, because my prayer every day is that when I walk in a room, people don't see me, but they see the light of Christ.
Amen. Amen to
And I
that.
know that you come from that same space, and that was one of the things that really helped you and I to connect. And so I love that. So
Mhm.
so listen, let's talk about being an entrepreneur, right? I mean, here you are, a single mom, stayed home, got to work, got to take care of those kids and feed six mouths. And I know that when they start playing sports and stuff, they're going to burn some calories. You're going to be in big trouble. So,
Yeah.
how do you do that? What
Yeah.
gets you there today?
I think one thing that I invested in this year was, getting a mentor and getting a coach, right? I know that God is our ultimate coach, but God also places people in our life to help us to really see things, right, from a different perspective. So, when it comes to my children and being an entrepreneur, like I said, I'm a non I have a nonprofit organization. I have a credit repair coaching, a podcaster, I'm a preacher, whatever, I'm also a mortgage agent, right? So it's a lot, right? So, and my children also inspires me to do the things that I do each and every day, right? So being an entrepreneur, one thing too that I learned this year is it's better to be an entrepreneur than to be a self-employed. And I
Hmm.
believe that I was working as a self-employed because I feel like I need to do everything myself. But an entrepreneur is better because then you get to delegate tasks. You get to, you know, not do everything on your own because it gets overwhelming. And I think at the beginning of the year, I was in a state of overwhelm, having to deal with my children, having to deal with all of that, and trying to do everything myself. But
Yeah,
we can't do it all. But sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes we need to be able to seek out help. And it's okay to ask for help. And it took a long time for me to understand that.
who do you ask for help when you need help?
I have, when it comes to like with my children, I have some friends. I have my mom. I can ask for help. I have some friends that will help me when it comes to business, even seeking out, mentors, right? Seeking out people in my industry who I can lean on, who I can connect with, right? And I think a lot of times we become so afraid because we see people who are doing so well in the industry that we shrink back. Oh, I don't need, I can't ask them. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. But it's okay to ask because you know what? What's the worst they can do? No. If they say no, you move on to the next person,
That's
right?
right.
I think we have become a generation of no. We allow no to stop us, but no means what else can you do? What's next? No
Right.
is an opportunity for you to even get out of your comfort zone because maybe you were looking at that person thinking that person is going to be where your help comes from, but maybe God is redirecting you to say, maybe I put no there because there's somebody else that is aligned to help you in pursuit of purpose.
Yeah, that's interesting. And here this is probably going to be totally contradictory to what you were just saying, but this morning I did posts on social media that said play the perfect game.
Yeah.
Say yes to things that you normally would say no to. So if your kids come to you and they ask you for something that, just say yes. So
Yeah.
spend one day just saying yes, right? And creating this life or this environment where you're accepting of a lot of that stuff that goes on. Because I
Mhm.
think, and I understand say no, you know what, I can't fit one more appointment in here, or I can't do this, or I get that piece, but I think sometimes we say no to ourselves about things,
Mhm.
maybe going to have your nails done or a
Yes.
massage or doing something for yourself to take care of yourself when you really would generally maybe say no.
Yes. And I need to learn how to do that more, right? Saying no to 5 minutes to myself, right? Saying yes to 5 minutes to myself, right?
Yeah.
Saying no to a chocolate bar. And saying yes to a salad, right?
And
Sometimes,
maybe you need to say yes to a chocolate bar and go sit in your car with it.
and have it for yourself so that you don't have to share it.
Right, right, right. So listen, you've got a couple businesses you're involved in. You do mortgages, you do credit repair.
Yes.
What's your love? What's your passion?
My passion, I believe that my ministry and my passion is after the young people, like the next generation. And everything that I do has that in mind, right? And the thing about me is that, for the past about 45 years, everything that I have done has been with purpose.
Mm.
Before I didn't know my purpose, but once I got aligned with purpose, everything that I do is with purpose. Everything that I do is to make sure that I can evoke change. Everything that I do is to make sure. I think one thing that we forget, we are always doing acquiring, but in your pursuit of acquiring, why are you doing it? Right? What can you do to make the world a better place? We're always complaining about, the world is so horrible and all of that. But it requires somebody to make a decision to want to change the world for the better for the next generation, right? And one thing that I always say is, when it comes to generations before my generation, right? They're always like, all these young people are this, these young people are that, but then they fail to understand that you created an environment that was handed off to the young people, and now the young people are having to manage the best that they can, right? So that means it's up to us. If the next generation is going to thrive, it's up to us for us to make things better, do things better so that we can give them the resources and teach them so that they, when we pass it on to them, they're able to cultivate and they're able to do what it is that they're doing. So the way I do that is that, I got into mortgages. I started off with my nonprofit, right? And my nonprofit is to build and nurture the foundations of the youth so that they can dream big, so that regardless of what the situation is, they can dream big. But then, at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, how do I impact the young people so that it becomes a generational impact instead of an immediate impact and then it's done? Because a lot of times we have so many organizations and so many things that are doing things for the young people, but they're not lasting. They're not lasting changes. It's because we need to start looking at the adults that are influencing the young people, right? So, like, to me, I can't go into your home and start making changes for your child, right? The greatest impact that a child can have is from the parents having the resources and access that they need so that they can change their environment, and that environment will push down to their children through education and through resource access, right? So then I'm like, what are ways that I can help the young people and I can help my community? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do mortgages, because when it comes to a lot of communities, the gap in home ownership is really uh, it's really large. And a lot of people, and it's because of resources and education. So how can I occupy spaces that will help me get the experience and the education to now bring it back to my community, to now bring it back to the parents so that they can get these resources, get out of the situation, get out of these mindset funks and stuff that they have, so that they can show their children that they too are able to be homeowners. They too can access financial freedom. They too can build generational wealth and have legacy wealth, right? And then also, that's also why I started doing credit repair as well, right?
Legacy wealth. And two things you said that are really key, I think. Education. I
Yeah.
think so many people aren't educated. And it's amazing to me, right? I
Mm.
was talking to somebody the other day and I asked them about and I was talking about passive real estate investing, and they were like confused. They didn't know what that was about. And I was like, wow, sometimes we live in this bubble, right? This really small place where we think that everybody knows what we do and who we are. But reality is that most people don't. And you need to go ask. You need to go, hey, are you looking for an investment in
Yeah.
real estate, or are you looking for credit repair, or are you looking for a new mortgage, right? And how
Mm.
do we help? So that goes back to that education, right? So
It's
well spoken.
It's important because, a lot of times, even with credit, right? A lot of communities are suffering. It's not that they don't have the resources to buy homes. A lot of times it might be because they don't have good credit or they don't
Right.
understand credit, right? So I
Right.
even have a lot of like conversations that I have with immigrants, because in North America, yes, people understand credit, but in other countries, that they don't even know about credit, right? They come here because they don't understand it, they get into situations and issues with their credit, by helping people to understand the importance of credit, right? And
Yep.
credit is really easy if you really understand, because I've been there, right? I've had bad credit because I didn't understand, because nobody took the time to teach me, right? It took me when I was 20 something years old to finally understand it,
Yep.
right? To finally gain my power back to say, you know what? I'm not going to, I'm going to, in order to be debt free, in order to seek financial freedom, I have to make sure that I am being mindful of the things
Yep.
that I have, right? And I know that a lot of communities, we were taught cash is king, stay away from credit, run away from credit, right?
Yeah. Right.
Parents didn't have credit. So then when and then the thing too is like, whenever we're telling young people don't use credit, it's bad for you, whenever we tell them it's bad for you, what happens? They go grow up and they want to try it,
Yep.
right? Because it's like
Right.
a
Hey,
super
I'm going that way. Yeah.
yeah,
Don't challenge me and tell me not to do something.
yeah. So it's like, if we say don't do it, give an explanation or
Right.
help them to understand why, right? But
Right.
don't tell people no out of your insecurity about what it is that you're telling them.
Or lack of knowledge. Hey,
Yes,
listen, well spoken this morning. And I always say, I can't believe how fast this time goes, right?
yes,
And so I know you have kids that are going to be getting up here soon, and we all have meetings to get to.
yes.
Listen, here's what I'd like to do is I want you to tell people how they get a hold of you if they're looking for mortgage information or
Yes.
credit help. Tell people how they reach out to you.
Yeah. So, like we talked about the path to financial freedom, and it's really, really important. Even if you want to do a financial checkup with me, you can connect with me on Instagram, Facebook at Portia Does Mortgages, right? And also I can give you my calendar to also post as well, because it's really important. Let's sit down, let's look at where you are at, right? Because it all starts with where you're at. We can't start thinking about where you're going. We have to look at where you're at and what we can do to change it, right? So Portia Does Mortgages, or you can email me at Portia at PortiaDoesMortgages.com. I'm on Clubhouse as Grace found me. That's another story that we will get
Oh
into
my God.
another time.
And I call you Grace all the time just because you're so filled with it.
Yeah, so that's another story for another time. But yes, connect with me and let's give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, and let's start making some pivots this new year, because it's time for us to get out of the funk. It's time for us to look at our situations and think that there's no mercy. There is mercy as long as you are willing to partner up and do something about it.
All right, perfect. Well spoken. Thank you. And
Yeah.
like I said, preach, lady, preach. So, hey, I'm gonna put you down in the green room. Say goodbye to everybody. And if I do
Bye,
disconnect you,
everyone.
uh, click back in. So, thanks for being here this morning. I appreciate you. I appreciate your heart and your spirit. Be right back.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. So that was Thursday Morning Live, and that was my conversation with Portia. Portia is a mortgage lender and a credit repair specialist, a single mom of 6 kids that is just living a life thriving. And I think that's what we all want to do, is we want to live a life where we thrive, where we can give back to others, where we can help others. And one thing I always say is, hey, listen, if I can add value to your world, to your network, let me know how. So reach out. Don't hesitate to reach me at mike@mycoreintentions.com. Text me at 325-436-7357, or however I can best work with you. I look forward to seeing everybody again next week, and have a wonderful week and a happy new year, everybody.